Welcome to Left in the South podcast, episode. Welcome to Left in the South podcast.
I have the
episode.
My audio on for the stream. This is in the way.
Turn your voice up. This is so scuffed.
Wait, what? What happened?
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Okay, we're good.
Welcome to Left in the South podcast, episode
Welcome.
33. Another
Hey, what's up?
beautiful day.
How you guys doing today?
Another live stream.
Another one in the books.
Yeah, another one. We've done like what, 5 so far? Done a couple. I got a couple
Yeah.
on my belt. I know you.
For
you
sure.
streamed on the channel sometimes.
Sometimes looking to do more.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see where that heads. But today,
Hell yeah.
wait.
Do the traditional intro.
Yeah.
Do the traditional
I
intro.
was gonna say today. Of course, you gotta get all the plugs out of the way, right? Of course, if you're watching on YouTube right now and you haven't seen our channel before, subscribe. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, subscribe. Our Twitter account right now currently suspended still. It's been like 3 weeks, but what are you gonna do about it? Hey, if
3
Daddy
weeks
Twitter
and
says
many
you can't have a
emails.
Twitter, yeah, you can't have a
Yeah.
Twitter, you can't have one. But
It's because they're anti-free speech. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
they're scared
bullshit.
of us.
They're censoring us.
Yeah. So maybe we might make a temporary Twitter soon. Who knows? Of course, Patreon. We have a $2 Patreon a month. Caleb, have you found 8 quarters on the floor before?
I have found in my ass 8 quarters before.
Exactly.
I may have put them there, but the point is like it's not that much. You know what?
Exactly.
For 8 quarters, you can buy not even 2 McDoubles. You know what I mean? Like it costs 12 quarters plus tax to buy 2 McDoubles. So if you can afford 2 McDoubles, you can afford to subscribe to us on Patreon.
Exactly. And if you're a rich, reformed capitalist, we have a $5 Patreon tier. And of course, it won't get you any more benefits, but we'll love you a lot. And I'll think about you before I go to bed.
Yep. The content will always be free, but we appreciate your support.
Mm-hmm. But with that out of the way, Caleb, I want to ask you, how are you doing on this beautiful day?
I have had an eventful day. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I studied for my economics exam, and I did okay on it. I got like a C, which is better than I was expecting because I did not really study.
C gets you
Yeah,
degrees.
exactly. I'll take it. So yeah. Other than that, I'm doing great, man. There's a lot of shit going on in the world right now, though. That's quite upsetting. So the tone of this episode might go like this. Throughout the episode?
The news
Or
are
wait.
just always depressing. Let's be real.
I have to say, I'm pointing in a downward way for all of our audio-only listeners. I forgot they can't see me.
Yeah, but unless they tune into the live stream happening at Left in the South YouTube.
Yeah. But how have you been doing, man? I know you just woke up from a beautiful siesta, so how are you doing?
Just woke up like 40, 50 minutes ago. But I woke up early in the morning. I just been it was more of a nap, Want to get fully rested for the stream, have full high octane energy for the stream.
Yeah.
But I'm doing good. I started this keto diet, so like I'm shitting water nowadays.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that before?
Keto?
Yeah.
I've tried, but then I'm like, you know what? Bread's just so fucking good, bro. And I work at like a pizza place.
I can't give it up, man.
So it's like GG, bro.
Yeah.
But
I support
other than that, finally got some like my textbook shit. Finally arrived in the mail after.
Don't
3
flash
weeks.
the fucking code on the stream.
I covered it up.
Okay.
But finally got
professional
that shit.
streamer, by the way.
$140 like plus shipping, $14. Fucking yeah.
Such not only a scam, but also a fucking waste. They mailed you a piece of paper with a number on it instead of just sending you the number.
I was so fucking tilted today. I'm like, yo, listen, professor, I didn't know we needed this for the class because last semester I didn't need this shit, but apparently now I do. And he's like, all right, bro, you can just do it, once you get it. I didn't expect it to take 3 fucking weeks, so I have some labs to catch up on. But other than that, man, I'm doing fucking fine. Been watching Lucifer, that cop buddy show you recommended.
Yeah, I feel bad for recommending that because I mean it's good, but it's just like
I think the
yawn,
story is
you know?
interesting. Like
Yeah,
fuck the cop shit. I like
yeah,
when they're talking about like the angels and the fucking demons and devils and like
yeah.
fallen angels and shit. I think that's more interesting than anything.
I like the devil shit. Not gonna lie.
Mm.
Michael Stefan, sorry, says McDoubles for all who want them. Why do you think we're communists, friend?
Mm.
It's exactly what we want. McDoubles for
Yeah,
everyone.
that's on the
McDubbies.
agenda.
Every worker a member of the McDouble board, so to speak.
Exactly.
But yeah. Oh, do you mind if I lead us into our first topic today?
Go ahead.
Because we were talking about school, so I just want to like kind of cruise into this topic. My school today that I go to, University of Tennessee, had a talk about the effects of COVID-19 on the what did they say? Like the effects of COVID-19 on people of color. That was the name of the talk. So I mean,
didn't you attend this? Did you attend this?
I did attend this. Yes, I did. And I have to say, like, I shouldn't need to say how hypocritical it is for like a liberal institution like UT to point out the fact that people of color are suffering systematically. It's quite hypocritical of them. But let's just cast that aside because I just wanted to go. I wanted to talk. The dean of students was going to be there, and she was there. And I thought, what a great opportunity to go and call her a piece of shit to her face. So I showed up, and basically all we talked about the whole time is how like, oh, actually black people have been suffering since basically, well, there actually is no start date and there also is no end date. It's just like eternal human suffering, and COVID is really just making it worse, and that's it. And that's how the talk just ended, basically. Like they gave us 10 minutes maybe to speak, and I only got to say one thing, and they interrupted me at one point and wouldn't let me like finish my point. The only point I got across, which was a great point because everyone kept like mentioning it the whole time. Basically, all I said was this. I said, someone brought up the point that if we all, make our voices heard and tell the administration like how upset we are, then they can't possibly ignore us. Like if we protest the government, they can't possibly ignore us. And I made the simple point that actually they can ignore us. And they are ignoring us right now. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here at school if the university administration couldn't ignore us, because obviously the point is that they can, and so can the government. And it was so ironic and hilarious. Like I couldn't hold myself from rolling my eyes. And the guy, one of the hosts, who's an assistant to the dean of students, says, "Caleb, that was a fantastic point, and it's going to stick with me for a long time." And then he goes on to talk about like some methods by which we can make change. And I'm like, I just can't believe that you don't realize I'm talking about you right now. Like you are the administration that I'm talking about. Like the people who are ignoring me, that's you right now. I couldn't believe. And every time after that, because that was such a common talking point. Like people were like, they can't ignore us. They can't ignore us. And then once I had my turn to speak, every person after that, like they would be about to say they can't ignore us, and then they would catch themselves and be like, oh, I guess they can technically, but then they would never go further than that. I'm like, okay, so what next? Like after they ignore us, then what? And of course the answer is like maybe violence, right? Or maybe something else, something honestly, more heinous, right?
You should become the new dean.
Exactly. That's my point.
The new dean. Who's gonna stop you?
Yeah. It was so enlightening. And like there was, not that this matters, but there was like one black person there, like other than the dean of students, who's black herself. Not that white people can't have discussions about race. Like I don't mean to imply that, but I just found it very like funny, like because liberals are very into that like representation thing where they're like, how dare you speak to a black man about what it's like to be black? And then there was like one black person there, so I found that kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know. I probably won't go to another one of those. I felt like I got nothing out of it. No one listened to me. They didn't let me speak. It was like 2.5 fucking hours.
Damn, you sat through the
and we had like we had like a group discussion part too. And there was this one nursing student who I brought up the point that like the biology of black and white people are different. And my point was not that like black and white people are different, like a race realist thing. I was making the point that like because black people are second-class citizens, like their health is very different. Like as a group, you can look at black people and then look at white people, and there's a different average for both groups because they're second-class citizens. And that was my point. But then she went for like 25 minutes talking about how like, well, that's an exaggeration, but for a few minutes talking about how like actually, black people aren't different than white people. I'm like, obviously, I know that. That's not the point I'm making. I'm making the point that their class is different. They're of a different class than us. Not that they're biologically. I tried, but they like couldn't understand it.
It sounds like you were saying like white people are just smarter than black people.
Right? Yeah. I get what she thinks I was trying to say, and I disagree with that too. But that's obviously not what I was trying to say. You know. I don't know, like in a conversation about the systematic effects of like racism in America, like you really think I'm making the point that like, oh, black people are just different, that's why they get racism against them, you know? Of course not. Idiotic point. But anyway, yeah, I'll invite you to the next one.
Yeah, like just set me down on a laptop, put me in a chair.
Yeah, we need some more like minority representation, so I think it'll be good for you. Yeah,
I don't attend this school, but listen what I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, what are they gonna do? Tell you no? That I always love like
laptop on me.
Yeah, because like, well, that would be the thing. Like, they can't deny you. You're a minority. Like, that's the downfall of like liberal identity politics. Is like, if you convince yourself like, oh, I can never have an opinion about this because I'm white or whatever, then you get led to a situation where like you could come on and just say whatever, and it wouldn't matter because like you're a minority, right?
QAnon, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
GG. What are you gonna do, white liberal? Whitey. All right.
What are you gonna deny me?
Fuck, bro. But I want to hit this first topic that we got on the agenda here. Apparently, the whistleblower. Actually, you probably know more about this. I don't know anything about this. So how about you start this off?
This is a huge story. This is probably the most heinous thing that has happened in the past 6 months, and that's not a joke. Even with COVID going on, like. In Georgia, at this ICE facility, I don't know if I should say her name, but I think I'm going to anyway because it's like national news. But her name is Dawn Wooten. She was a nurse who worked at the ICE facilities in Georgia, and she was responsible for like dealing with like patients, aka prisoners, who were in this facility. And she came to realize that there were like hundreds of women there, or almost every woman that she interacted with basically had a hysterectomy, which is an operation in which they remove your uterus, which means you can't give birth anymore. And it's usually done for things like I forget the name of this illness right now, but like there's this thing where you get like cysts in your ovary. Sometimes they'll have to do a hysterectomy on you if you have that. And there's some other reasons, like if you have a really bad infection or something. But in this case, the hysterectomies were being done for no medical reason. And the doctor who was doing it is known there as the uterus collector. Like he's known
on the black market.
I don't know. Fuck, man. I don't know. Like I guess he's just cruel as fuck.
Like their uteruses, like in a jar, like in their house, like on shelves, like
a fucking alien specimen.
Yeah, like above on the mantle of the fireplace, and they just sit back and watch it. Like
yeah. Damn. I don't know, man. I guess, but it's fucking weird and it's cringe and very concerning. Yeah, in Georgia, right? That's the thing is like originally, like I know during the Obama years, it's not true that there were none, but like in the Obama years, they were more concentrated on the border. But like as Trump's presidency has gone on and ICE has been expanded, like you're seeing ICE facilities in places that like aren't near the border. Like people aren't walking to Georgia from Mexico. You know what I mean? Like, or not usually, but it's very strange to me. And
it's weird. I mean, they did do like they like just recently arrested. I think we talked about last podcast. Like they arrested a lot of illegal immigrants just like if they committed a crime, like no crime committed. So yeah, they're just expanding.
Yeah. And the justification is that like, well, they're automatically criminals because they're here illegally, which is true in the eyes of the law. But much like, in my opinion, much like resisting arrest shouldn't be able to be like your only crime. I don't think like illegally immigrating should be able to be your only crime either, because why is immigration bad?
Right? Like you should be punished for wanting a better life for you and your children.
Right. Yeah. And the idea that they're coming here to just like, it's not a better life for them. It's like a better life that we've created. They're coming here to steal it. I mean, that's just bullshit. That's just fucking like white supremacy bullshit. I genuinely don't know a good argument to like prevent immigration. I don't know one. Because even like conservative economists like oh Jesus, I can't remember his name right now. Right, like even conservative economists who I can't remember the name of right now agree with me that immigration is a net positive for the economy. So there's really no argument to be made.
Yeah, and the only
It's also just
people,
morally right.
Yeah, the only people it affects is the newest immigrants that it affects, not even
Right.
like wealthy white people.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense because they're not competing with like managers. They're competing with like fucking
Laborers.
low skill laborers,
Yeah.
like high school dropouts. You know.
Well, it's the time of the show where Douglas Discord connects, and now he's back.
Hello? Yo.
Yeah, welcome back.
Not that they don't need jobs either, but the point is that like the negative effects are far outweighed by the positive effects. So I don't know. This hysterectomy shit though from the ICE facility, like it's unbelievable. And as a result, New Yorkers have been storming the facilities in New York. And like I saw a video on Twitter of like dozens of people like storming the fucking facility and screaming and shouting like Black Lives Matter, fucking all immigrants free or whatever the fuck. I can't remember. But yeah. Wow. What do you think about the idea that we should just violently free all these people in a video game?
In a video game, I mean, fuck yeah, hell yeah. I mean, like these people are being punished for even no reason. But like even the ones who like commit crime or like the ones that are dangerous, right? Like they do it out of necessity. Like whether it be like they stole something or were selling drugs. Like I mean, they're just doing what they have to do to survive, and you can't really blame them for that.
Yeah. And like the forced hysterectomy shit, like I read this heart-wrenching story.
That's just weird.
Right, like
that is some,
what
like,
do they
Nazi
gain?
Shit.
It is some Nazi shit.
Nazi shit.
Because what do we stand to gain from it? Like I guess they can't have a child, like an anchor baby. Like that's not a real thing, but to use their language, right?
Yeah, that's some weird shit. Like it's like they don't want them to have kids anymore.
Yeah, and like I read this terrible heart-wrenching story of a person who was there who talked to this nurse, Dawn Wooten, who said like she asked the doctor like what did he even do to me? Like what did he do? Like what why did this happen? What are the effects? Like she didn't even know what was happening to her. Like she had her uterus removed, didn't even know why or for what, like what the effects were on her body. And the nurse had to tell her like, yeah, you're not going to be able to have kids. Like, so this person came to America, was arrested and basically fucking enslaved for no reason and forcibly sterilized. And now she gets to go home to her home country, back to her shitty life. And then also tell her fucking partner that they can't have kids now because I guess
got stolen.
Whatever. Yeah. Like it's seriously bad. I think at this point, like it's,
they didn't like raid the New York facility and like find like a shelf of uteruses and like
yeah.
balls.
I don't know how common it is in other places. Like, I'm guessing that it's common everywhere, but they just happen to get caught in Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's very concerning. I think, like, in terms of violently freeing them, it's very hard for me to justify not doing it at this point. Like, I almost feel like we're complicit in this thing unless we do something. It's very concerning to me. I don't know what the answer is, though. I mean, I can't tell people on the show to go fucking shoot up an ICE facility because that's not going to work. You're not going to gain anything from it, and you're probably just going to die for nothing. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but, like, it's crimes against humanity. So
yeah, it definitely is. Hopefully, this shit quit, but I don't think this shit ain't going to quit.
Yeah.
But Trump's, Trump's still trumping. And I want to talk about this more Nazi shit. Apparently, this is fresh. I was sleeping when this happened. Trump Youth, the 1776 Commission executed the order. Go ahead and talk about that again.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of information right now, but it's a lot like the Hitler Youth shit. I mean, the comparison is totally fair. Like, Trump is talking about how liberal institutions are tarnishing the reputation of America by bringing up basically slavery all the time. Like that, he specifically referenced slavery. He said, like, if you look at things through a race lens, which I don't know what that means, but he says if you look at things through a race lens, then of course America is going to look bad. You have to look at the good things that we've done. It's like, which one? Which good thing? I don't know. But very interesting. I'm probably gonna have to like homeschool my kids now, I guess, because I'm not sending them to a fucking, Trump Youth America school. It already makes me uncomfortable, like doing the pledge even, Do you remember doing that in high school? Did you have that at your school? That's a thing everywhere, right?
I think I stopped.
Yeah, I
Like
stopped doing
if
it.
like the teacher wasn't like weird about it, like I don't think I did it. There's a
Yeah, I
lot of
didn't do it in any class except for ROTC because it was like a military class and I didn't want to get in trouble, which is kind of cringe. But
Yeah, I was literally thinking about the other day. I was like, it'd be like, cause the pledge is like so weird. I feel like you can make like a creepy like video, just like slow the pledge down, like have it at the end,
yeah,
like talking about the United States of how like cult like the some like the like the nationalism is like like
yeah.
people fucking go crazy.
People look at us like we're insane for doing that, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that's not a normal thing. I know a lot of people here like think it's not a big deal and think it's normal. It's not normal at all. It's very strange. And other countries look at that and think, wow, that's fucking weird. But yeah, like I said, I mean, what are your other options? Like if you don't want to send your kid to fucking Trump school, I guess yeah, you have to like homeschool them or send them to a private school or whatever. Not like we have the resources for that, but I don't know if I'm comfortable sending my kids to school here anymore, honestly. Like if it keeps going down this way. But we'll see. We'll probably update you guys on this Trump youth shit, like as more information comes out. Because honestly, like, what does this even mean? He created this 1776 commission, which, by the way, cringe fucking name, and like he just vaguely said, like, we're gonna
man. It's like
right, like
oh,
patriotic.
God,
What does that
America.
mean exactly?
I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird. I don't know if it's like, there's no way this like they just stopped teaching about like the civil war
Yeah.
and like slavery. There's just no way.
I mean, they won't stop teaching about it, but I'm concerned that they'll like start slanting it in a more like better light for us, right?
Like slaves.
Because we already do that.
Like I just don't know how they like downplay like just like slavery.
Oh, you'll see. You
like,
can go ahead. They'll come up with something,
slaves,
man. Like
they lived very comfortably. They had places to
dude, you're
sleep.
telling me you don't think that they can come up with something? The same country that taught us that the Native Americans literally taught us how to grow corn and became best friends with us, and like we lived happily ever after. We have a holiday called Thanksgiving that is a farce, a lie created to convince people that the Native Americans were like our buddies. You know what I mean? You don't think that they can come up with something to justify slavery? I don't know, man.
Maybe. But enough time.
We'll see. Yeah.
But 9/11, don't forget. But slavery, go ahead and forget that one.
We should skip this New Zealand topic, by the way.
Okay.
Editor's note.
Editor's note. It's not there anymore. Okay, but so if we're skipping that topic, we head into the top black Democrat. I don't know why that's important. Jim Clyburn attacks god-awful AG Bill Barr for comparing coronavirus lockdowns to slavery.
Yeah, this is what happens when you copy-paste a headline, David. Top black Democrat. Yeah. Jesus, man. The comments that Barr made, like,
what he said, do you know
tone deaf as fuck. I don't know exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of like the nation locking down is the worst human rights violation since slavery. Like that's more or less what he said. What a dumbass thing to fucking say, man.
It's so weird, like, because like the last pandemic we had was like 100 years ago, and like how do we
exactly?
It's like we forgot how to like handle it. I wonder like what will happen in the next 100 years when there's like another pandemic. Are we just gonna forget like how to handle it again, and are we just gonna like
is it gonna be even worse?
Or like still because there was anti-maskers in 1919 during the Spanish flu.
But not nearly as many as there are now, though. It's far more ideologically charged now, I would say, than it was back then. I want to talk about my ignorance a little bit. I was looking at some photos from 1918, and people were wearing masks, and I idiotically had the thought, like, oh, I didn't know they knew to wear masks back then. But it wasn't that fucking long ago, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it was a long time ago, but they knew about germs and shit back then. Like, yeah, like, the idea that we've devolved from there to like here where we are now and basically learn nothing and also become more fascist is it's depressing. I don't know what else to say.
It's I don't know. It's like how do you compare it to slavery? It's like it. Like, just
in what ways is it like slavery?
Like, what? That like
like,
you have to do something.
Which part?
it like you have to like stay home, and so it's like, God, dude, having laws is just like slavery.
Right.
Like we should just abolish all the laws then, right?
I guess the implication is that like, oh, you're not allowed to do something that you want to do, which is like slavery. But that's true all the time. You can't drive
You can't
200 miles an
murder
hour.
someone.
You
Fuck.
can't kill anyone you
Fuck.
want. You
I
can't
really
like
wanted to
fuck
murder
anyone
this
you
guy
want.
this week, but thank God the laws are in place because I would have done it.
Yeah, the
done it.
idea that like the only reason you don't kill people is because you'll go to jail. Like that's such a weird
that's all the
conservative point.
That's all the Republicans. You goddamn, you fucking liberals are sure goddamn lucky these laws are holding me back.
Right. The law and order Republicans. Shit, man. I mean, Democrats say the same shit sometimes about usually it's more about financial shit though, because Democrats aren't brave enough to say like, oh, I would kill people if it wasn't illegal.
Yeah.
So they'll say like, oh, I'd rob a
I
bank.
can't believe that there's still not another stimulus check in my bank account. Like,
Yeah.
where's that shit at? Like, apparently Nancy Pelosi, they're like, we're sitting in the house until we get a deal done. But the fucking, obviously the Republicans, they want to push all this extra shit, right? Give businesses more tax cuts.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just want healthcare. You know? I just want to pay rent.
David, it's time for your dick flattening.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. It's fucked.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully, like,
I don't know. I'm so surprised they haven't done anything. Like, didn't you think that they were gonna at least do something?
Like, I thought,
you know, like anything.
Like, Trump is like, I feel like giving free money to people will do super well for your votes.
He's even said as much. I think he said something along the lines of like, I want to do more stimulus, and like he'll often like try to pretend like it's the Democrats stopping him, but like that's obviously not true. Yeah, because they won't give him like 10%, you know, fucking highest marginal tax cut, in addition to the stimulus. I don't know, I guess, but who knows? It's very hard to imagine like what it would be like to be someone who really fucking needs that $1,200. You know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky that I can make it, I guess. Not that I'm rich or anything, but I at least have food and fucking water and shelter. It's so crazy that we're potentially facing like millions of people not having a home, not having access to all the food and water they need, or basic medical care. I don't know. Very weird. Very weird.
Yeah. And it's like, it's honestly like just like because people like it's so sad that like, you know, people like can't even like afford medication, like life-saving medication that they need because they don't, you know, they don't have any cash flow coming in. You know, this government's not helping them. You know,
yeah, and then when they order the medicine, it gets there 2 months late because the USPS has no funding.
Yeah, because, you know, oh God, dude, November. I don't know what's gonna happen in November after, you know. Because no matter who wins, both sides are going to claim that something's up.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that that's like a real possibility? Like Trump is going, because he's mentioned several times that he wants to have a third term. Like he's used the words like, I'm owed a third term because of how I was treated. I think we talked about this on the show before.
Yeah, the first one didn't count.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely talked about this. Do you think that's actually a possibility or no?
I think he's gonna try to say something was up, but like I don't think our military is gonna like go with him on a coup or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think that the military would support a coup, but I wonder if like something less than a coup is possible. Because like, if it were the case that he tried to do this and no one stopped him, it's like, well then no one, like who else would stop him? You know, like if no one in power stops him and the military doesn't stop him, which they won't, then who would? I don't know. It's not like no president has served more than 2 terms. It's not like it's unheard of.
If Biden wins and takes office, like, you know how like Iran wants Donald Trump because you know, he committed a crime over there.
Right.
Do you think Biden could just like give them?
He could. It's not illegal. Right. Yeah, he could. Fuck, man. I mean, like, because I mean, in theory, like what he did is a fucking war crime. Right. Like, I mean, he should be probably like executed in the fucking Hague for what he did. So. I mean, why not, right? We don't extradite people to Iran in general, but I mean, it's an option. He could do it if he wanted to. Yeah. I think it would require like more than like, I don't think he could just do it on a whim. Like it would require more than that, but it's not impossible. We also don't extradite people to China usually either. So like, you know, any crimes he commits against China also probably won't matter. Any crimes that Trump commits against like foreign countries basically doesn't matter, which is why I think he wants to be president forever. Like I think his goal is like be president until I die of a heart attack, right? Because he can't like if he gets out and all the shit comes back to bite him, it's like ooh. That's not going to be fun.
Guys,
And he
I
doesn't
need to stay
have
president
long.
until I die. Yeah, I mean, like,
Right.
how is he? Like, what, 102?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like 70 something. He weighs like 400 pounds. And he's like 6 foot something. So, I mean, he doesn't have much longer.
I mean, Corona took his brother. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Corona took, one brother. Alcoholism took the other one. Fuck, man. What's going to kill Trump? It's going to be some like tropical disease that hasn't existed since like 1831.
He got the wrong tanning solution. It was a little too much. And he dies from like over tanning.
Yeah, mercury poisoning from licking too many doorknobs.
Yeah. But I want to talk about the coronavirus vaccine, because I think we talked about this a little bit on the other episode, but I think there's a genuine concern on who will take the vaccine.
Yes.
First, I want to ask you: are you going to take the vaccine if there's a coronavirus vaccine by the end of this year?
No, not if it's by the end of this year. Absolutely not. I don't trust, and like, not to agree with Biden, but we've talked about this before, so technically he agreed with me. But I think I said in a previous episode, like, it's not that I'm against vaccines, it's that I'm against the administration that's creating this one. And I don't think that's changed. Like, historically, vaccines take more than a year to make. Like, the idea that I guess it's not impossible, it's not unimaginable that we could create one faster, especially in a time like this. But that being said, like, I'm not excited at the idea of like taking a vaccine that I'm not totally aware of the potential side effects, like, so not that vaccines are bad in general, but like this one needs testing. Every vaccine needs testing, of course. It's hard to say if I will
definitely also wait, but I think the next question to ask yourself is, when is it time to take the coronavirus vaccine?
I think that like it's not a matter of time, it's more a matter of research. Like, I think that I have to have like multiple sources from multiple institutions that I trust that all say like we've done our own independent research and we believe that this is safe. Because then if it's true that it's not safe, it's like, what more could I have done? Like, at least then it's like, I'm not just taking it on a whim. I feel like because sometimes things go wrong and it's impossible to foresee. But like, you can't say, oh, how could we have ever imagined this happen, if you don't do any testing, you don't do adequate testing, then you're just flying in the dark. It's not a surprise. You just didn't do the work. And I'm concerned about that. So
yeah, well, I'm still worried about like if
Would
Trump
you take
wins, I mean, I don't know if Trump wins again, like next term, like if he wins his next term, and like, I think people will still not be open to taking this vaccine if Trump's still in office?
I think so. I think, like, judging by how politicized the mask stuff is, do you think liberals are any different than conservatives? Like, if Trump releases a vaccine, even if it's 100% like amazing and it cures cancer and COVID and like makes your dick grow 6 inches long, like, still people would politicize it just like they do with masks. I don't think that anyone is immune to that kind of thing. Even people who are like leftists or liberals, I'm not immune to it either. But like, I think that it is reasonable to want the vaccine to be tested sufficiently. That's not an unreasonable thing to want. I think that it's dangerous to deny all science, but in this case, like, there's a clear history that this like fascist fucking government that we have is willing to lie and do things that aren't ethical. So, why test the vaccine on yourself? Let other people test it. Some people are gonna get it. Like Trump if Trump were to like endorse a vaccine,
take the vaccine live on cam.
Right. Yeah. If he did that, all of his supporters would get it tomorrow or the next day. Right. So, and honestly, that could help with like herd immunity, like reducing all of his anti-mask supporters and like libertarian people, like getting them vaccinated would actually be a great way to reduce it for us as well. So, maybe we don't even need to get the vaccine if enough people get it. So hopefully Trump pushes that really hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, but still, like, people don't even wear the mask properly still. Like I fucking hate it. Like, I work, unfortunately, currently during this corona season. And people come into the store with a mask on, but then, like, they'll come to, like, talk to me, and then they're like, so this is what this is what I want. It's so
they pull that shit down. Yeah, I hate the one I hate the most.
Why are you wearing it
then? Right. That is almost as bad as the people who just wear it like below their nose is sticking out. I'm like, why the fuck is your giant schnoz sticking out of the mask? You're not doing shit. You're not doing anything. It's no different than not wearing a mask unless you're like medically unable to breathe through your nose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking wild, man. And it's such a basic and obvious thing. You would think people are smarter than that, but they're not. They're actually stupid.
Nope. And recently in Florida, there was like this thing where like a group of like anti-mask protesters was like running through Target with like their mask. They're playing music. They're like, everyone, take off your mask. And it's like
that's so.
And
funny.
It's like they're playing the song, "We Can't Stop the Fight." You know that one song.
Yeah.
Oh God, bro.
We didn't
in Florida,
stop the
by the
fire.
way. Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
I hate living here, man.
Dude, you're saying that, but bro, I saw something similar in Tennessee. There was like a school board meeting where this guy was sitting at the front of the meeting with no mask, and the police had to come and remove him. And all the people in the room were supporting him. They're like, why are you? They're all wearing masks, and they're like, why are you removing him? He's sitting away from everyone. It's like, why do you wear the mask? Like, if you're going to bat for anti-maskers, why not just take the mask off yourself? I don't understand. Like, I've seen so many people who wear masks because I guess they fear the social backlash of not wearing it.
Good.
But like in reality, they don't believe in that shit. They're just too cowardly to take it off. They're too much of a coward themselves to actually do it. But they support people who don't wear it. It's really fucking weird to me. Because if it were me, I would just take the fucking mask off. I'd be proud to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and wear a mask like a cuck if I think that it's not working. Like, God, cowards. Have a spine for what you believe in, man. Why do you think I have this flag? True. I'm not embarrassed by that shit. Anyway.
Brother. No, for sure. Fucking, like, there's a lot, like, so many different, like, yeah, I get that too. Like, even, like, when the person has the mask off and I'm serving them, like, usually if they have something to talk about, like, yeah, it's so hard to breathe in this mask, or, like, you can't interact with people the same anymore because you can't read their face, you know?
Oh, my God. Like, I don't know if you remember from really early.
There must be more autistic people in the United States than we think. Like, that's why it's a spectrum, right?
You think?
Because,
like,
people
100%,
like, that, you know, they're like, I can't read someone, like, you can't talk to people if you can't see their facial expressions. Like,
I think it's a red herring though. Like, cause remember early on there was the video of this person breaking down in like a Walmart parking lot, talking about how like they couldn't see people's face and couldn't read their emotions and make genuine human connections. It's a red herring. It's just a bullshit excuse to not wear it because they're too cowardly to admit that they don't want to wear it because they don't believe in it or for whatever reason.
Like, I have a medical condition and I can't.
Right.
What medical
Those
condition?
laminated cards that are like, according to the HIPAA, it's a HIPAA violation for you to ask me to wear a mask.
And,
like, do you even know what the fuck HIPAA is?
Personally.
Yeah.
And I hate those people because they attack the individual, like, not the company. They don't go after the company. They go after the worker. Yeah. And that pisses me off
As
the
if
most.
I'm making the choice.
Because, of course, that person is going to be scared. They're like, well, I don't want to get sued. I don't have any fucking money. And, like, this person's saying a lot of big words, and I'm gonna be inclined to believe them, and that's the most fucked shit ever. That, like,
it's so stupid too because they're not doing that,
right?
Yeah,
it's like I just want to feed my family. Like, I'm here for 8 hours. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Epoch Philosophy says I would rather take a vaccine via China than the U.S. Totally agreed because like they're probably gonna collaborate with other countries who I trust more than I trust my own government. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of faith that their research is probably going to be publicly available, whereas I don't have that same, I don't think that that's likely to happen with the U.S. Maybe I'm wrong, and I would like to be wrong because I would love to take the vaccine as soon as possible and resume my normal life. But I have to agree with Epoch Philosophy. Like, my government is the one I trust the least, pretty much. So maybe that's just because I live here, though. Who knows?
Yeah, Ilalo Ranger.
Who?
Says this person who just commented.
Oh,
says, I'm at work, so I can't stick around, but I just wanted to say y'all are great and keep up the grind. Yo, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, brother.
This person was in one of my streams that I was doing when I was reacting, being a React Andy. So I want to say, of course, fucking appreciate the support, man. Love you. But I want to.
And by the way, brother is a gender neutral term for me.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I was talking just the other day, like, man, I call everyone brother and like bro.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And like I don't mean for like to like ever like misgender anybody. Like these are gender neutral terms to me, but like if someone ever gets offended, obviously I'll stop. Like I won't call bro.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. But
like,
I always
bro,
like have
dude,
to preface it.
Yeah, bro, dude, brother. Like they don't mean. They're just. I just call people that. I call my girlfriend.
Yeah. Speaking of bros and dudes, by the way, I want to say thank you for all the support, everyone. But my toilet is now fixed. I took my first shower after like a week.
Brother.
I was able to shit in a toilet instead of a bucket for the first time. It felt great, dude. The porcelain on my ass cheeks, it caressed me in such a way that I never knew that I would miss it until it was gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I also
wasn't pleasant.
No, it was not pleasant. You know what was even less pleasant was cleaning all the human feculence out of the bottom of my shower on my hands and knees. Literally, I was on my hands and knees. No gloves or anything because I don't have that shit. I'm not going to buy gloves just to clean my toilet. So that was fun. But hey, it's clean now. So it's probably cleaner now than it was before the fucking shit backed up into it because I'm lazy and don't clean.
Didn't you have to pay like $200 before, like, didn't you say you had to pay $200 when they were like looking at the toilet? And just to tell you.
No, luckily we didn't have to pay anything. So that's good. But I mean, like, our landlord could have tried to make us pay, and I mean, we wouldn't have had any way to like say no. But luckily, he did not do that. So, yeah, I'm actually pro landlord now. I love landlords. I'm renouncing my membership of the Mao community. Yeah.
Damn. Well,
landlord lives matter.
If you didn't see our newest channel trailer, it's been a hard month here in Left in the South. A lot of bad shit has been going for us, but hey, I mean. We're still on that grind for the people. Gotta post that.
For every cloud, a silver lining, David.
Yeah, but of course, if you want to support us, as always, patreon.com/leftinthesouth. But I want to talk about something the FBI, I believe the director was talking about. And they're finally looking into Antifa not being an organization, but more of an ideology people follow.
Right.
But other news also, they're like still like looking at potential like Antifa like nodes, just in case.
There's like two different wings of belief on this because you got people like Trump who like don't understand really what Antifa really is, which I would say is what most people are. But then you have people like this FBI director who kind of are like, yeah, Antifa is not really like a group, but it's still dangerous and we have to put an end to it right away. It's like there's never anyone who's like, oh, I actually agree with everything they're saying.
It's like people think like Antifa is like fascist.
Yeah.
Like they genuinely think like Antifa are like Nazi fascist people.
That's a horseshoe theory for you, bud.
It's like it's so weird. Like
I don't understand it, but I don't think it matters. Like, do you think it really matters? At the end of the day, because like
what?
Because if it weren't Antifa, what I'm trying to say is like if it weren't Antifa, it would be something else. Like it's really just a bullshit way to discredit the movement, and I don't think the name really matters. I don't think any of that matters at all because like they would come up with something. If there weren't anything to go on, they would come up with something. It's just that this is what they have to go with, so they're gonna go with it, and it works because people don't know what it is. Right, like Black Lives Matter, exactly. Yeah.
I would say,
and
like,
I don't know.
People in the United States are Antifa.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is like people kind of think it's like this weird fringe ideology that they can't possibly align with, but in reality, like 90% of people are anti-fascist. You know,
so
because that's just if you're looking at in your own interest, then you're probably anti-fascist unless you're rich, because then fascism might look pretty nice to you. And I want to talk to you about something the FBI director said in relation to this. His name is Chris Wray, and he, I think it was a congresswoman or something, asked him, in his opinion, what share of terrorist attacks are done by white supremacists and like right-wing terrorists. And he said it's by far the biggest group of terrorist attacks that they see. Domestic terrorists are far and away most likely to be white supremacists. And he also said, I thought was a funny point too, is he said, we don't really characterize terrorist attacks based on like right wing or left wing. We characterize them in other ways. Like he said, most of the terrorist attacks we see are anti-authority and anti-government, like anarchist violence and militias. And I'm like, those two things are just like so not the same. It's very weird to me that he can simultaneously say white supremacists do most of the violence, but also we look at anarchists and stuff. It's like, which anarchists are doing violence? Like, I'm very curious. Like, most anarchists I know are just like being gay and doing drugs. Like, no, I don't know any anarchists that are like trying to overthrow the government, and I've not heard of any either. Because anarchy is a word that people don't understand what it means, and they use it in a way that doesn't mean what it actually means, so
they like to
I don't
fearmonger the word
right
anarchy.
the word anarchy is probably the most misused word in politics, I would say.
Mm.
If not like liberal. In America, it's probably liberal, but the world over, it's probably anarchy. No one understands what that shit means. No one understands that like anarchy and communism are basically the same thing. Like they really don't get that.
Yeah, like, and like the white supremacists, like they love fucking running people over. Like and I don't know if did Trump endorse like the fucking running people over?
I don't know, but do you know who did?
Who?
This sheriff guy, the South Dakota attorney general.
Mm.
Like okay, so let me run you through this story here. Running people over. This is on the news.
Whoa,
running people
our
over.
Discord's lag.
Attorney general.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, really?
We're back. No, we're good now.
Okay. So let's go back. I'm gonna take you back to the land of running people over. Okay. So we have this man, South Dakota Attorney General, General Jason Jason R. He killed a man in a hit and run accident where initially, so he's driving home at night. According to local officials, he was driving back from a Lincoln Day dinner in Redfield around 10:30 when he hit something in the road. He reported the incident. Yeah, 10:30 p.m. on Saturday night. He reported the incident to the Hyde County Sheriff's Office and told officials that he had hit a deer. The next morning, a body was found in the road, that of 55-year-old Joe Bover. So what happened was he hit a deer and then actually hit a person. Right. But here's the thing. There's a lot of like conflicting stories on this because I don't know. This says that he called it in, but I've heard several different stories. I've heard one story, which is probably the worst, and I don't know if it's true. So allegedly, he didn't even call in the incident. He actually drove to the sheriff's house and took the sheriff back to the scene where they then called it in and then drove home in the sheriff's squad car, and then like slept and then came back and then like looked into everything. And that's when they found the body, was the next day. I would like to say, I think the whole story is bullshit. I think he knew that he killed someone. I think that he told the sheriff.
Like,
they conspired together to get away with this murder and to play it off like they hit a deer. And I think he was drunk at the time because he had just come back from a dinner at 10:30 p.m. I believe that he was driving home. I believe that he hit a person. He wanted to avoid the DUI charge. So he drove home, sobered up, and came back and tried to get away with it.
They're like, all right, bro, you need to sober up. Go ahead and sleep it off. We'll get this solved for you. We'll
and of course this is all unconfirmed, alleged thing. Like I legally can't say that he did this, but like it looks that way. And things that support that is at the scene of the accident, there are skid marks, which indicates that he knew that there was something in front of him, tried to come to a stop, obviously failed. Also, the skid marks are like running off the road. So like there's a lot of controversy around it right now. And I think that it stinks. Like, let me just put it that way. The situation stinks and it does not, to me, seem like what they're saying it is. But I guess we'll find out. They're doing an investigation right now. And, not that usually ends up the way that we want it, but I guess we'll update you guys and see what happens. Very concerning situation, though. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, Trump probably would endorse that guy. He'd probably love that shit. Hitting a guy. Dude, what's better than, like, driving home drunk and getting away with killing someone? Like, that's badass, man.
And then, calling up your sheriff buddy, he's like, listen, I think I may have hit a deer.
A deer, triple parentheses.
I think we need a discard of the deer, if you get my drift.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, bro. It's honestly super fucked. Honestly, he's 55 years old, still pretty young. So,
honestly, for sure. And I don't know anything about the guy. And I mean, it's tragic, but I'm sure this guy will get away with everything and, he'll be found, not guilty. But yeah, like if anyone has ever been in like a near miss, we'll say, like in a near miss car accident or something, like if you're paying attention, you don't mistake a deer for like a human being. You know what I mean? I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that story. Like I've been in a few near misses.
Yeah, you ever almost hit animals?
Yeah, not animals, but like people. Not people, but like cars.
Oh.
Or like cars are about to hit me, or maybe like they pull out in front of me. I've had that. I'm a very safe driver, so usually I don't. But like sometimes someone makes a dumb decision and like I almost have a wreck or whatever. But every time I've managed to like escape, luckily. But typically I find that actually time like slows down in those moments and you're hyper aware of everything going on around. Right. Like there's not a single detail that I can't recall from those moments where I'm like, holy fuck, I almost died right there. Or like I almost had an accident right there. I'm no more acutely aware in any time in my life except in moments like that. The idea that you could just hit someone and be like, oh, what happened? I hit a deer. Absurd.
Keep on
Fucking
going. Keep on
absurd.
going.
Yeah. What a
Like, even
crazy
if
thing
I
to
think
say.
you hit an animal, like, you're stopping, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna at least.
Why
like,
would you call in hitting a deer? Like, is that something you need the police for? That doesn't even make
The
sense.
only thing that like makes sense like that to me is like I think in Alaska, like if you kill something, you have to eat it. All right, like, or like
I don't think that's true.
or I think if it's like a bear or something, or like if you kill something, you have to eat it. I'm pretty sure. Like
that
I don't
sounds.
know. Fucking
It's
if
true.
anyone wants
Sounds
to,
true.
if anyone wants to like, Google that shit. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I know. Like for insurance purposes, you're technically supposed to call the police or whatever. But I mean, he is the police. I don't know. Maybe that's a dumb thing to say. I guess like calling the police, you probably should, right, for insurance purposes. But like, just the way that he did it and the way that he like like he spoke with the sheriff and drove the sheriff's squad car home and like
allegedly.
didn't find the body till the next day. Like that's such a strange sequence of events that just stinks to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
see
the
what
only time
happens
I've
from the
ever like
investigation.
almost hit something was like a cow. Like I was on my way back home from a friend's
What?
house. Yeah. I was on my way back home from a friend's house, and like I live near like a lot of like farm area, like
Yeah.
a lot of people like own like animals, and like it was like really misty. And like I was just driving, and then all of a sudden, a fucking like form is like something's like walking across the road, and I like fucking slam on the brakes, and I'm like, "What the fuck was that? That was huge." Apparently, it was just a fucking cow. Like someone just cow just on the loose, just crossing the fucking street at like
What
one
the
in like 1 or 2 in the morning.
You should have adopted it.
I mean, I
Pet
almost
cow.
fucking murdered it and probably almost killed myself in the process.
If you were in Alaska, you would have had to eat it.
I would have to eat it on the road. Like
it would be illegal
like,
not to.
Take out my wallet, get my fork and knife out of my wallet, bro, and fucking start going to ham.
Make some choice cuts. Yeah, I killed a bird one time. I was going like 100 miles an hour through a farm because like everything is like open.
Farm?
I can't possibly have an accident other than one with myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm just fucking flying because I was house sitting for someone and they lived like 2 hours away. So I was just flying through these farmlands, and all of a sudden this like bird just swoops down in front of my car and just gets fucking feathered into a million pieces. And I felt so bad, dude.
Dude, how come when birds get like hit by something in a like really fast, they just fucking they like just blow up into feathers, like Minecraft type shit?
It's because their body's like 90% feather. Have you ever seen a naked bird before?
No.
They're like this big compared to like how big they normally are. It's really weird.
And they got like
you should look up.
And shit.
You should look up right now. You should look up naked owl. Actually, don't show that on stream until after you look. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm linking you a picture right now. Shit's fucking wild. Open image. There we go. There we go. This is scuffed. Hold. There we go. Show it on stream. This is what a naked owl looks like compared to a regular owl.
Wow, that is crazy. Oh yeah, I've seen like the image of like the baby alien, like not baby aliens, baby owls, and like they look like fucking aliens. Like,
yeah.
Like
here's a normal owl for reference.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you, bro, they're 90% fur, not fur, feathers, and the rest is just hollow bones. Did you know if you look into an owl's ear, you can see its brain?
Really?
Fucking wild, man.
Wait, really?
Yeah, really. They have like these little flaps on the side of their head that are like ears. They're not actually ears, but they're like something like ears.
Can you like go on an owl's ear and go and like blow their like
you probably could, yeah.
Their ear?
You can see their optical nerve like attached to their brain. It's really fucking weird. Strange as hell. Owls are wild creatures, man. Never shave one though, and don't feed one after midnight, and don't let it get wet. Anyway, let's move on. We got big news in the tech department.
Yes.
You wanna hit us with it?
TikTok. A couple months ago, Caleb made a really good video about this TikTok ban going down, and basically Trump was saying that TikTok has to sell to a United States company, or they get banned.
Or else.
So
yeah.
you know, everyone was thinking like, okay, Microsoft, the president and Microsoft, they were talking. They're like, all right, let's scan TikTok, right? But a new contender has showed up in the field, Oracle. and they
Choose
apparently
your character.
are in the running to winning this TikTok deal.
Yeah.
But Trump has said that he's not prepared to sign anything off for an Oracle TikTok deal.
Which is weird. Why? What's wrong with Oracle?
I
It's
don't
very
know.
ironic,
Yeah,
by the way.
I was like trying to look up like, does Oracle like have like Chinese connections or something? Like, are they like a Chinese
I don't think
majority
so.
Chinese owner or something? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Like,
It's very ironic that it's Oracle that is allegedly going to win this contract, right? Because famously, like in the early 2000s and in the 90s, like Microsoft and Oracle were at each other's throats, and like Bill Gates famously had to defend himself for like I don't know how long the interviews were, but he had to testify before some committee for hours and hours about like why Microsoft wasn't a monopoly and why like they actually weren't, and then they lost and they were a monopoly and they were like predatory, and it was against Oracle that this like problem was first arose because of some like software dispute, and Oracle like never recovered from that, by the way. Like they're a shadow of their former selves now because of that like Microsoft shit that went on in the 90s. So it's very ironic that it's them. I kind of like it. I'm rooting for them in a weird like anti-capitalist
tech
kind of way.
monopolies are like a big talking big conversation right now. You know, they're talking about like the PS5, you know, not PS5, like PlayStation and Xbox stuff. Like, you know, the only store you can buy from is the Xbox store, PS5 store. You know, and like on especially for the iPhones, the app, you know, Apple and Fortnite still ongoing dispute between those people. And you know, the Apple's not, you know, they're not backing down. They don't want another store on their phones. They just want the you know, be able to buy from the Apple store.
It's a very strange situation. Have you seen that guy that comes up on Reddit a lot who's like a self-repair advocate who talks so much about how like it's bullshit that companies are making it illegal or difficult for us to repair our own things?
Tactics?
It's not Linus, but it's a kind of a guy like him. Yeah, like this weird idea of like closed architecture, kind of like iOS, where it's very difficult to have data, or I mean have security issues because the architecture is like unavailable to users, right? And you can't like create third-party software, you can't run third-party software on it, so it's difficult to have security issues, but you give up a ton of freedom in exchange. It's weird that people are so willing to do that, in my opinion, you know? I don't know. I would rather be able to give myself viruses than not have the freedom to use my device the way that I want to. Let's talk about PS5 though. What do you think about the $400 price tag?
I mean, honestly, that seems very affordable. For like the quality,
crazy affordable.
The quality that they're promising. I mean, I know I'm gonna buy a PS5. So
I wasn't going to because I didn't expect it to be so ridiculously cheap.
Pre-orders
but
are gone.
Honestly, now that pre-order's gone forever. Like you're never getting a pre-order on that like, shit, so you're gonna have to wait.
I mean, but you can still buy the accessories apparently. Like if you want to buy like a controller.
Yeah, the $70 DualSense controller. That's the only bullshit part, by the way. $70 for a goddamn controller.
For real. Controllers.
What are you smoking, bro?
They'll charge you anything for a fucking controller, dude. I was trying to buy a fucking Switch controller, bro, and like I was looking at Amazon. I only needed one, right? I only needed one. Because my right Joy-Con controller fucking broke. Like the thumbstick doesn't go like left or right. It only goes up and down.
Damn.
And I was looking. It was like $70 to replace one fucking controller. And for the
For
the same price, I could have bought two of them. I could have bought just another set of controllers.
And they're so shit, especially the Switch controllers. They're like garbage quality, pure plastic shit.
Yeah.
And like they break in a second. Also, when they first came out, they had that thing where like if you accidentally attach them the wrong way, it just breaks your machine and you have to completely buy a new one. Crazy how expensive those parts are considering how shitty they are. But I think I will buy a PS5, honestly, like the digital one for $400. But like you were talking about with the tech monopolies thing, this is obviously a vie for like power in the digital space, because if PS5 can sell, I guarantee they're losing money on this console. Like this $400 console, they're probably losing money on that. And the reason for it is because once you get the digital console, you have to purchase games through Sony. Like you have no other option because you have to purchase games to play them.
PS5 like doesn't even come with a disc tray because like
no disc tray, so no secondhand games. Like the whole secondhand game market, they're trying to just get rid of that shit because they don't get anything from that. Like when you go to GameStop and buy a used game, Sony doesn't get a penny from that. So it's in their interest to be to be gone with all of that shit and just have everyone buy everything from them. Kind of like with Steam, you know? Like if you want to buy a game from Steam, you can't go to your friend and be like, I'll give you $10 for this game.
Honestly,
you don't play it anymore.
Like I hated like having to go to GameStop or like waiting to like go to somewhere to collect my like game, because then I have to like interact with the people. Like there might be a long ass line, but if I'm at home and I bought my game off my PS5, I just gotta wait for for me to be able to download it.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful with that though, because you're giving things up. Because like once Sony has that monopoly, bro, that like over time, games getting cheaper is a result of the secondhand market. Because like when you have a $60 game and it's a year later after it releases, what reason do you have to lower the price? The reason is because people are reselling the game for like $30. So if you want to make any money at all, you have to drop it, because otherwise no one's gonna buy it. They'll just buy it secondhand. But with digital distribution of games, that's no longer a factor. So you don't have to drop the price ever if you don't want to, because people can't trade games. So like maybe 5 years from now, fucking Modern Warfare 2 will still be $60 because I can't trade it with anyone. I can't do secondhand trade. That's very concerning to me. I think people are gonna suffer from that. But I'm hoping that we move towards more fair ways. Like, what do you think about the Microsoft Game Pass? I actually think that's a very fair thing.
I love it. Like, there's so many games. $5 a month. It's very affordable. And I'm pretty sure Activision keeps COD prices high as a game theory thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
and like,
I never.
There are concerns about not actually owning it, but wait, what did he say? I'm pretty sure Activision keeps COD prices high as a game theory thing. By keeping the old ones expensive, people are more likely to buy newer titles. That's actually a good point too. But they'll no longer have to even do the game theory thing. They can just do it, period, and they'll be able to, get a higher cost. But that's actually a good point. I haven't considered that. That makes sense, because why would you buy Modern Warfare 2 when Modern Warfare or Advanced Warfare is out and it's the same price?
And now that we're talking about like game stuff, there's a certain trailer you wanted to show for everybody here.
Yeah. Go ahead. Wait, can you show it? Is it possible?
Yes, we can show it now.
Okay. And if you're listening to audio, you'll have to just wait.
Magic, both beautiful and powerful, binds together our long history. That common bond we share is the legacy of Hogwarts. Now it is time to add your own story to these hallowed halls, and quite possibly shape the future of the wizarding world. Every corridor, every portrait, every stone in this castle tells the story of witches and wizards who came before. Here you will meet lifelong friends and grow into your own magical abilities in the classrooms of the world's most talented professors. And while your journey begins at Hogwarts, brewing potions, taming fantastic beasts, and mastering spells, there is a larger world beyond these walls. A world filled with dangers you can't yet imagine. An ancient knowledge long gone from this world. That strange and mysterious talent you possess may be the key to unlocking this dormant power. Your potential is limitless. But what form will it take? The journey ahead will reveal what you stand for. The choices you make now will define the legacy of Hogwarts.
So that was the Harry Potter
Boom.
Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy trailer for that game. That was the first time I've seen it
Yeah.
live on stream. So you're getting my first time reaction after seeing that trailer. Honestly, the game looks fucking good. Caleb,
It looks good,
it
right?
It looks good. Caleb, are
That-
you a fan of Harry Potter?
Okay, here's the thing. Like, yes, when I was a kid, I fucking loved Harry Potter,
Mhm.
but like, I hate J.K. Rowling. All my friends, fuck J.K. Rowling. Fuck
Mhm.
J.K. Rowling.
Oh my
Turf
God.
shit.
Hate
But
J.K.
here's the
Rowling,
thing.
yeah.
Harry Potter, kind of pog. Okay?
Yeah,
Kind of
it
pog.
looks fucking
You gotta
cool.
give it
looks
to her.
fucking cool. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be, what is it, an open world survival action adventure?
Yeah. It reminds me of this really shit game. I don't even know what it's called. But like, there used to be an open world Harry Potter game back in like the early 2000s.
PS2?
That was
GameCube?
terrible. Yeah, I think it was on PS2. I think so.
Yeah, I
It was
think I
also on
played it.
PC though. It was fucking trash, but it reminds me of that. And when I was a kid, I fucking loved that game. It was so sick. There was like puzzles and shit, and you had to like draw. You had to like Wingardium Leviosa, like do a certain pattern. It was fucking lit.
Yeah.
And actually, this
I
game
see it
looks sick
like
as fuck.
PvP, PvE,
Yeah.
taming,
Open world.
potion, dude.
Sick.
Potion, like, dude. I just can't wait to, the house picking,
Explore
bro.
Hogwarts. Yes. Oh my god. And there better
1800s.
be fucking like, oh my god, there's gonna be so much. Well, it's probably gonna be a shit game, but like, if
gonna be
it's
on the
not
PS5,
shit
I
though.
believe, right?
Yeah, it's like one of their launch titles. It's like I don't know if it's an exclusive though. Maybe not.
I
Who
hope
knows?
not.
But
I want to play it on my PS.
I hope not too,
See.
because I'm probably not going to get a PS5 on launch. Not that you can right now,
Mhm.
but yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to like ask your opinion about supporting Harry Potter, knowing that the author is like shitty. What do you think? I've been talking on Twitter about this.
I don't know, yeah, because like fucking J.K. Rowling is a fucking turf, but like I love Harry Potter. And, it's like she's already like, I wonder like how much is J.K. Rowling getting from this Harry Potter game?
Right.
Like did she just like sell the game rights away, or like was it a one time? Is she gonna get like 2% off every sale? What's going on?
I think that like you don't really need to be concerned about the ethical implications of buying the game. I don't think.
There is no ethical purchasing under capitalism.
Yeah. That's exactly what the person on Twitter said. And I was saying like it's kind of weird because I don't want to use that as an excuse, right? And we talk about this in Discord a lot. Like a lot of leftists use no ethical consumption under capitalism. Right, exactly. They use it as an excuse to not do any activism.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I can't do anything because as long as capitalism exists, we're never going to make any progress.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of bullshit. And I don't like that mentality. That being said, though, I think you're right. Like, buying the game doesn't actually really support J.K. Rowling that much. It's a drop in the fucking bucket. I mean, she's a billionaire and the best-selling author of all time.
She already got the paper.
Right, yeah. Like you're adding a fraction of a percent to her net worth by buying the game, basically. So I don't think that's a big deal. I do have a big problem with the no ethical consumption under capitalism argument, but in this case, I think it's unethical because it's buying things, but it's not unethical because she's a turf. I don't think that really matters so much. And I think I'll play the game. I'm excited. Just give it a go.
We're not
Harry Potter is like
anything like that. By the way.
No, Harry Potter is kind of shit. Like it's kind of shit, but I just have like a special place for it in my heart because when I was a kid, I watched it and liked it a lot. And like the game, especially, like I remember being in my friend Nathan's house. God, I hope he doesn't ever see this because I don't even know him anymore. But like, I would go there and come early because we rode to school together, and I would just get on his family computer and play fucking Harry Potter all morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning until we left at like 7:30 to go to school because I was that nerd. So yeah, hopefully this game's good. We'll see.
Harry Potter was like huge, definitely when I was growing up. If you were like a smart kid, you were like, yeah, I already read all the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, I was that guy. Cause like when Deathly Hallows came out, my dad, it was in 2009. I remember it. He went into his room and read the whole book in one sitting and came out, and he was like heartbroken because like of what happened. Cause he was like, it was so cringe. Now that I'm looking back on it, it's cringe as fuck. But like, but he was like heartbroken over it, and because I don't remember what happens in the last book, but just the way it ends and stuff, it's like kind of sad. It's like the end of an epic journey or whatever. But also, I want to mention too, like, how were people surprised that J.K. Rowling is a turf? Like, the bankers in
Oh, yeah,
Harry
that
Potter.
book.
Wait, what book?
She released a new book that was like really fucking bad.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
But that's my thing is like, why did it take this new book and like her Twitter to make people realize that she's kind of cringe? Because like in Harry Potter alone, the only Irish character blows up randomly. All of the people who handle money are all long-nosed fucking, like, what are they called? Goblins or whatever, basically Jews. There's like a million stereotypes in the shit that she just rattles off throughout the show or throughout the series. It's kind of strange that no one saw that shit coming, to put it politely.
I don't know if you heard about the new book. It was like about this person who like murders, like they dress up as a woman to go into like women's bathrooms to like murder people or something like that. It was either murder or like rape them. So it was like really fucking weird. And like she wrote under like a pen name, or what are they called?
Oh, fucking yeah, Robert Galbraith or whatever. That's her pen name. Yeah. Cringe. By the way,
so
anyone
weird.
who has a pen name, cringe.
Yeah, I think it's so weird.
If you're too much of a coward to write under your real name, maybe you shouldn't be writing it.
I don't get it.
You know
like,
what I mean?
why write under a different name? People are just gonna like, oh yeah, that's J.K. Rowling. By the way,
Yeah.
it's like,
I think she originally did it because women are have a hard time getting published, which actually I kind of understand. But like now that she's famous as fuck and probably the most well-known author of all time at this point, like you can forego that. Like no one's gonna care. You're J.K. Rowling. You can get away with it. So
yeah.
Who knows?
But I mean, we're reaching an hour and 11 minutes here, and I think it's about that time of the podcast.
Wait. I want to talk about this last one. Florida genetically modifying 750 million mosquitoes and releasing them into the population to kill the regular mosquitoes. Have you met one of these modified mosquitoes yet, David?
I haven't personally met any of these mosquitoes yet, but I'm sure.
I heard they're cool.
Thank God I don't live near any like bodies of water. So like mosquitoes, and I don't go outside.
In Florida, so, you don't live near any bodies of water in Florida.
That's how they breed, right? The mosquitoes, they like put their eggs in the water. So like if there's water nearby, you're probably gonna get a shit ton of mosquitoes.
Is that how it works? I don't know.
Yeah, because they like, put their eggs in the water.
They just go in the water. They just.
Like, yeah. So if you live near water, that's why mosquitoes are prevalent.
Make friends with genetically modified mosquitoes.
You know, when I was a kid, I was always wondering, it's like, why the fuck don't we just wipe out all mosquitoes? Like, why not? It's like, not like they provided anything. They just fucking are annoying.
I always hear this like justification, like, oh, they're an important part of the ecosystem. It's like, well, which part though? Like, just curious.
They're like frog food.
Yeah.
Fish food.
All my homies hate mosquitoes. Fuck mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Did you know mosquitoes have killed more humans than any other single thing in the world?
Probably. They carry disease.
No, definitely. More humans have died from malaria than like, God, what am I trying to say?
How many 9/11s did mosquitoes commit?
At least 1 million 9/11s. At least 1 million. It's like it's some ridiculous statistic. Like more people have died from that than have died from anything else combined.
Yeah, I'm surprised we already haven't started the war on mosquitoes.
That's my thing. I think like Bill Gates at one point said that he was gonna make like this laser device that like pinpoints when mosquitoes are like flying around and just go and just shoots off like Star Wars laser beams and kills them. I don't know whatever happened to that idea. That probably is actually not that well, you know, it's possible. I can imagine that's possible, right? So do that.
Just snipe the mosquitoes out the sky.
Yeah. Genetically modified mosquitoes is like one step away from disaster, I feel like.
Yeah, that's like how you start like the zombie fucking outbreak.
Yeah.
You just want
I get that it's like science or whatever, but you know, science
it's basically
is
magic.
a fuck.
It's magic.
Yeah.
It's
true.
Magic.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't tell the difference, then it basically is. Yeah,
but
that's what Grunt likes to say. Shout out.
Yeah, I worry. I mean, I don't think anything bad's gonna happen. Probably less mosquitoes is probably like better overall for people. But I guess.
Yeah. I haven't seen a mosquito in months, honestly.
I mean,
I don't even know what they look like anymore.
I get bit by mosquitoes like at the most random shit. Like I'll be inside sometimes and I'm like, is that a mosquito bite? How? How? Why are you going after me? Like out of anything?
Because you're juicy as fuck. You're plump and juicy, bro.
I
would suck your blood if I could.
I am.
Yeah.
I must release like there's something like it is like I'm pretty sure it's a fact that like there's just some people who are like more like tasty to the mosquitoes. I think it depends on like how much oxygen. I mean, how much carbon like you release.
Yeah.
Because
It's
they're
like your
attracted to the
lipids
carbon.
or like your acid level
Yeah, that's
or
why
something.
there's like
Yeah.
those machines that like kill the mosquitoes. They like release like a little bit of carbon to draw them in. They're like carbon. Something.
What do I look like? A fucking scientist?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know.
anyway,
Grunt says it
episode
makes sense if
33.
you don't want to be famous. He's talking about the pin names. Totally true. I mean, if I was gonna write like erotica, I'd probably use a pin name.
Really?
Not that I'm embarrassed, but I just don't want like my parents to read it or
I'd be proud
something.
of that shit, man. I'll put my.
I'd be proud of it. I would
I'll put my social on there.
advertise it, but I wouldn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but episode 33. It's been a fun one. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, with that, I want to thank our patrons. We didn't do that in the beginning, but maybe we can do some editing here and somehow get that in the beginning. But of course, I want to thank our patrons: Grunt980, Peyton, James, Zachary. Thank you so much for your constant support to the Left in the South podcast Patreon. And if you're wondering, how can I get my name spoken by David and or Caleb? All you have to do is just donate $2 measly to the Patreon, and you get benefits like Discord and us shouting out your name constantly in every episode.
Special content too. I mean, there is we post
Early
infrequently,
access.
but there is technically special content on there. There's
Early
stuff on there that
access.
we've never released, like the ARG
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
That's never been publicly released.
Yeah,
so.
it's only on the Patreon. ARG content. Pretty sure there's a clip that's only on Patreon. The brain in a jar clip.
Oh yeah,
it's a good conversation.
That's a great clip.
If you want to get this access to the content, patreon.com/leftinthesouth. But with that, episode 33 of Left in the South podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.